Portland's chief of police, James Craig, says yesterday's false report of a sexual assault in the city will not affect the way the department investigates these crimes. Yesterday, police charged 22-year-old Marianne Morin with filing a false report after she recanted her story that she had been raped by 5 African-American men at Portland's Back Cove Trail. News Center's Caroline Cornish reports.
What was once a rape investigation is now a question as to why 22-year-old Marianne Morin, seen here in a picture on her Facebook page, would make up the story that she was the victim of a violent crime. Police Chief James Craig says he's still not sure, but he wants people to know that his department doesn't take a hoax like this lightly.
I was very disappointed, upset with that, only because we expend a lot of time, resources. The anxiety that it causes in a community is not necessary.
Morin has been charged with the misdemeanor crime of filing a false report. Still, the chief says he doesn't regret holding a press conference about the alleged assault before police had the facts. False reports of sexual assault are extremely rare.
I had the press conference because I feel an obligation and duty to report crime, especially serious crime, to the community. You need to know, the community needs to know.
And the chief wants real victims of sexual assault to understand that regardless of what happened in this case, his department will take all accusations of sexual assault seriously.
I view a sexual assault crime like I would a homicide. They're very violent, intrusive, and certainly I want the community to know, I want the victims to know that we take that crime very seriously.
Advocates for victims of sexual assault say that's a message they hope victims understand. Cindy Amato of Sexual Assault Response Services says well-publicized false reports of rape can have a chilling effect on real victims of crime, who often fear that they won't be believed.
It is frustrating. It's frustrating to have to talk about false reports when 1 in 5 Mainers report that they've been a victim of sexual assault in their lifetime. 1 in 5 people, that's an epidemic level, and we're talking about one person who made a false report.
One person who has now been charged with a crime herself. In Portland, Caroline Cornish, News Center.
Now, if you know someone who is a victim of sexual assault, there is confidential help available. You can call the statewide Crisis and Support Hotline. The number is 800-871-7741. You'll also find that number on our website, WCSH6.com. And this case also has a racial aspect to it, given that the alleged rapists were said to be 5 black men. Rachel Talbot Ross, the president of the Portland chapter of the NAACP, says it would be naive to ignore the fact that Morin relied on an old racial stereotype in crafting her story. She says this case is sad, not only because of its impact on real victims of assault, but also because of the racial questions it raises.
And for us to somehow not understand that the chilling effect that this has on real victims of sexual assault also has a chilling effect on members of the African-American community, African-American men in general, because it continues to purport that there's some proxy for criminality within the African-American community.
Talbot Ross also says it doesn't matter that the accuser is also an African-American. She says racism can be internalized.